Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you, and here I have my sister Goose, who played D1 ball as a striker, and we are going to go ahead and give our predictions moving forward to the England game. She also played some semi-pro, and we have a very interesting matchup coming up here between England and Sweden. Now, I'm very excited about this match. The things that is very interesting is in the past we've had an English team that has been, in my opinion, overly confident and kind of underestimating teams. And this year, I do not see that happening. I do not see them overestimating Sweden by any stretch. What about you?
Right. No, I don't. I don't think that at all. I think that they are. I think they're confident. They're not overly confident. They're looking to get the job done. And I think this year they actually could do it.
One interesting thing about Sweden's style of play this year is defensively. They play very well defense, and the games they've been playing so far, their possession has been terrible, to say the least. It has not been well, but they have somehow managed to control the flow of the game without the possession and make those chances count when they have them. My question for you is, if you're England and as a striker, how do you stay mentally prepared in the game and not get frustrated when you're in that situation?
Well, I think you just have to hold on to the opportunities that you end up getting out of it. I think, it's not possession is so important, but we saw in the Spain versus Russia game that Spain had 65% possession and they still didn't come up with the result. So I think when you're Spain in that instance, you have to take advantage of the time that you're on the field and you have to put it away in regular time. And when you don't do that, well, then you leave it up for penalty kicks. The other team can very well come after it. So I think possession is important, but we've seen that you don't necessarily, it's not always what wins games, and you got to end up getting it in the back of the net. And if you don't take shots and take good shots, it's not going to happen for you.
I give the slight edge, thank you for the comments by the way, I give the slight edge to England as far as momentum moving forward, simply because they won from penalty kicks for the first time, I think, since 1996. I could be wrong. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments below with that. But I want to also talk about a weakness here that I see with this Swedish team, and that is they have had quality chances these last 2 or 3 games, but they're not finishing. And I think this game, I do not think that Sweden can win if they go into extra time or penalty kicks. I think they have to take their opportunities. So again, as a striker, how do you prepare mentally when you're missing those chances? You're having wide open nets and you're missing. How do you forget about that and move forward?
Well, I think going into this game, people are going to expect that that's going to continue happening. And I think as a striker, you end up putting that your team on your shoulders. They expect you to produce. So when you've had that history in the last few games, I think you go in there being fired up. Strikers are meant to be overly confident, because they need to go out there and they need to be selfish when it matters. And I think since they haven't always been that way, we haven't seen them come up and finish those opportunities. I think that they're feeling the pressure now and they're going to produce because that's what they're meant to do.
And one interesting thing I like that you said this time around is selfish, because Swedish and the English team have been kind of had players in the past that really controlled a lot of attention. Zlatan for England and thinking some others for, Zlatan for Sweden and thinking some others for Sweden. But this year I see not so much selfishness from either players. They're playing very, very well as a team. How dangerous is that when you go up a team like that where there isn't that much ego into it playing against other teams? And have you been on the other side of that where you've seen ego really take over and just change the flow of a game?
Definitely. I think some of the teams that do end up meshing really well, when they aren't very ego driven, then they end up being a little bit more dangerous because they're a little unpredictable. And when you do have that really heavy ego driven team, you kind of expect that from them off the bat. So not that you underestimate them by any means, but you're already expecting that that's how they're going to be. So when a team comes out and they're not always presenting that way, I think it's harder to read them, harder to get control of the game from the beginning because you just don't really know what to expect from them. So I think both of them present a challenge when you're faced with an opponent that's either way.
What I'm going to finish here now is with the predictions moving forward. Mm-hmm. Myself personally, of course, I live in Sweden, so I'm a little bit more biased towards the Swedish team. I think that the Swedish team has nothing to lose at this point. They've already proven themselves to me because they've made it out of the group. Mm-hmm. However, for them to beat England, because I do feel like England has the slight advantage, right, they need to score early. I do not see them moving forward if they don't finish. Right. If as long as they can score an early goal, I think that Sweden will win this game. My prediction is they will win 1-0. But I really do believe this is a 50-50 game. And the longer this game goes on without Sweden getting a goal, the more I like England in this situation. What about your predictions?
Right. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because I think...
Our cat in the background is doing some stuff here.
So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it'll, I'm kind of going with England with this. I do agree with you that coming off of such a, big win off of penalty kicks can just get you fired up into the next game, and that really sets you up. I think just through you and Ida, I think I'm hoping that Sweden comes out on top. But, part of me thinks that England could do it this year. They just the way that they present themselves, and because they're not that overly confident team that we typically see that can't get the job done. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling they might get it done.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for you guys for watching. If you like this stuff, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I usually just talk about Sweden, but I'm kind of just rolling with this World Cup thing. I hope you enjoy the analysis. What do you guys think? Please put that in the comments below. We would love to see them. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
See ya.